Welcome to Finance Deep Dive. You work hard for your money. You put it in a bank, and you probably think it's just sitting there, right? Safe and sound in a vault. But what if I told you your money has a secret life? That as we speak, it's out in the world, funding projects that might go against everything you stand for. Today, we're going to uncover that secret.
So, let's start with a really big question. The one we're going to answer in this video. Does your savings account actually have a carbon footprint? It sounds a little crazy, I know, but stick with me because the answer is going to change the way you look at your bank forever.
All right, let's pull back the curtain on your money's secret life. We're about to expose the hidden and frankly shocking connection between your everyday bank account and the global climate crisis.
Get a load of this number. No, it is not a typo. Since the Paris Climate Agreement was signed, that big global pact to save the planet, the world's top 60 banks have pumped a staggering $6.9 trillion into the fossil fuel industry. Trillion with a T.
And you might be thinking, okay, that's bad, but surely it's an old problem that's getting better. Well, nope, the opposite is happening. In 2024 alone, this financing actually surged by nearly 23%. So despite all the eco-friendly ads you see, the money flowing to these industries is actually going up.
So how on earth is this happening on such a massive scale, pretty much right under our noses? Well, it all comes down to decoding your bank's real impact and understanding the pretty clever ways they hide this financing in plain sight.
The key word you need to know is greenwashing. Think of it like a magic trick. Your bank might make a big public announcement saying, "We refuse to fund this specific polluting factory," and everyone claps. But then, behind the curtain, they turn around and give a giant, no-strings-attached loan to the parent company that owns that very factory. It's a total shell game.
And this is exactly how that shell game works. They want you to see the project-level financing, where they publicly deny funding for one oil rig and get amazing PR. But the real action, where 94% of the money is, happens at the corporate level. They're just writing blank checks to the fossil fuel giants, and it's a massive, massive loophole.
So who are the biggest players in this game? Well, here they are, the top 5 for 2024. You've got JPMorgan Chase way out in front, followed by Bank of America, Citigroup, SMBC, and Wells Fargo. The thing that jumps out immediately? The biggest banks funding this are based right here in the US. Now, you don't have to take my word for it. You can investigate your own bank. There are amazing tools out there like bank.green for a quick search, or if you really want to go deep, check out the Banking on Climate Chaos report. The data is all there for you to see.
Okay, so that's the problem, and it's a big one. But here is the good news. You are not powerless here, not even close. There's a whole world of better banks out there, institutions that were literally built on a different set of values. Let's meet the heroes.
So you've got options. Credit unions, for instance, are owned by their members. That's you. So their main job is to serve you, not Wall Street. Then you have CDFIs, which are focused on investing in local communities. And finally, B Corp banks, which are legally certified to balance profit with purpose. 3 great alternatives.
Hey, just a quick pause. If you are liking the content and finding this all valuable, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. It really motivates us to keep posting videos like this one. Thanks. Now let's talk about your power in all of this. It is so easy to think my small account doesn't matter, but that is where you'd be wrong. It's all about the ripple effect, and trust me, your financial footprint is way, way bigger than you think. I want you to think of your deposit not as cash, but as a seed. It's not just sitting in a vault, it's being planted. And because of how banking works, for every $1 you plant, your bank can grow and loan out nearly $10. That is some serious leverage.
Let's make that real. Say you've got a respectable $12,500 sitting in your savings account. That's your seed money.
But to your bank, thanks to that leverage, your money represents over $112,000 in lending power. So now the big question is, do you want that power building oil pipelines or do you want it building solar farms? Because where you choose to bank determines that answer.
And look, this isn't just a theory. This strategy works. People-powered pressure has already forced major changes. University students pushed Bank of America to seriously reduce its funding for coal. Activists targeting the funders of the Dakota Access Pipeline created real, painful financial consequences for those megabanks. People power is real.
Okay, so you're ready. You're ready to align your money with your values. That is awesome. The next logical question is, how do you actually do it without creating a total logistical nightmare for yourself? Let's walk through the simple, practical steps to make the switch.
Honestly, it boils down to a super clear 3-phase process. First, you prepare. Second, you execute the switch. And finally, you close out that old account for good. If you break it down like this, it is completely manageable. I promise.
Here are 3 pro tips for a super smooth switch. First, make a list of every single automatic payment and direct deposit. Second, leave a small buffer in the old account for about a month, just as a safety net to catch anything you missed. And third, when you finally close it, get it in writing.
Now, this final step is maybe the most important one. When the bank employee asks you why you're closing your account, don't just mumble personal reasons. Tell them the truth. Say, I am moving my money because of your bank's financing of fossil fuels. This turns a simple chore into a powerful act of protest.
So, let's go all the way back to that first question. Does your savings account have a carbon footprint? The answer is yes, it absolutely does. But the amazing thing is, you have the power to change that. Your money is always telling a story, whether you realize it or not. The only question left is, what story will you choose for it to tell?
Thanks so much for digging into this with me. If you found this video valuable and you feel a little more powerful, don't forget to subscribe for more videos that put this kind of knowledge right in your hands. We'll see you in the next one.